Okay, good afternoon. Thanks all for joining us for our webinar today. My name is Megan Morse, and for today's topic, we will be reviewing the 2501 enhancements. So just going through what those new features are and some of the best practices for using them. Okay, just a quick introduction to anybody new on the call. This is our retail consulting team. We run these webinars and are assigned to you to just help with any training or system needs that you may have. So you can always reach out to us directly or even open a ticket in our Freshdesk support site, and we can always help you out with any training or system support that you're looking for. And then just a reminder, we do have everybody on mute just to reduce any background noise. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to utilize the chat window here within Teams, and we'll keep an eye on that and address anything that comes throughout the session. A recording of this webinar will be sent out to you in an email once it's available and posted on our YouTube channel, and you can then access that video directly through the link in the email, or you can always access any of our previously held webinars available on Freshdesk under the support site educational webinar section, and there it's all nicely organized by module or specific topic. So if you have anything in particular that you're looking to brush up on, that's an easy way to access them or share with new individuals on the team. Okay, so our agenda for today, we're going to review all of the enhancements that were included in the latest release, and then Stuart will walk us through a live demonstration of some of those key enhancements in the screen. And then we'll have a quick preview of the 2507 enhancements that will be out later this year, and then we'll wrap up with the survey. Okay. And with that, I will pass it over to Janine to get us started.
Great, thanks, Megan. Good afternoon, everyone. So our first enhancement that we're going to show you is in the Maps module. And if you're familiar with the copy offer function as it exists today and use it, how it works is you have a source offer and a target offer. And what you choose as your source and your target offer, the purpose of the copy offer is to copy all the products and SKUs from the source offer into the target offer. If you'd had anything previously entered into that target offer, the copy functionality overwrites it or deletes it if it doesn't exist in the source offer. So what we've now added is what we call our append feature. So in what this functionality will now allow you to do, it's still the same source offer to target offer, but in the scenario where you already have products and SKUs loaded to that target offer, what the append functionality is going to do is take whatever is in the source offer and overlay it onto the transfer offer, target offer, sorry. So it's not going to overwrite and remove any products and SKUs that previously exist. Now, this is controlled by a parameter. The default is set to pull the data from the source offer, and this is focused around the pricing. So if for some reason there is a discrepancy in the pricing in your source offer versus what you want in your target offer, we are giving you the opportunity to set that parameter to pull from the item master instead of what exists in the source offer in regards to price. What I do want to clarify, though, it's all or nothing. You either have everything pull from the source offer, or if you set it to pull from item master, all offer pricing will come from the item master. So you can't mix and match. With the append feature, the SKU allocations are percents are calculated, and all of the size templates are updated as well. Another addition that we have in Maps is we've added a field to the OPS upload. So if you are someone who is utilizing the OPS upload, over to the left shows you in bold the columns in the template that have to be populated. So ones that are not mandatory are list price, repeat flag, and release flag. By adding the release flag to this upload, what it's giving you the ability to do is to override the default setting for the release flag in the system. If you're utilizing the OPS upload, I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking today, sorry. If you're utilizing the OPS upload today, that release flag is automatically set to true. And what that does, it means that any products and SKUs that you're uploading into Maps automatically releases and is visible in product level forecasting. So if you do not want that visibility in product level forecasting, you will now have the option to populate this template with false so that it will not release into the system. All right, and the last one that I wanted to bring attention to is in master scheduling, requisitions can now be created from 1 million up to $100 million. Previously, before, that value was much too high and our system didn't like it, but now that option is available for you. And with that,
and I think I was to say, I think it's exciting, Janine, that we have clients needing that functionality as they continue to grow.
Exactly. Big revenue.
Yes.
Over to you, Linda.
Thanks, Janine, and good afternoon, everyone. So another item we're excited to call out in the application is the rebranding of our application to officially Cognizant Merch Insight. We've spoken about this for a while, and it is finally here with the 2501 release. This helps us prepare for the 1.0 and the 2.0 versions to all be branded the same. So effective with the 2501 release, all documentation and screens within the application will use this new logo and the branding information. One key note we want to call out is our support site email will be changing. So the new email address will be misupport2@cognizant.com. We will continue to support the old email address, but we just want to bring that out and start getting everybody acclimated and using the new support site email. So you may see emails every once in a while just reminding people of that new support email address. So this email should be communicated out to any users who may issue tickets or who reach out to the support team. So the support site will also be rebranded to Merch Insight Support, and the URLs will remain the same. So we've also added some new reporting functionality or reporting tools within DRS. So the first is actually called VDRS Net Need Open to Buy. So these new reports within DRS will provide users the ability that they can query data similar to what is available in the hot list, vendor, product, or SKU, but it can be done for basically any week within the materials planning grid. So the new view will allow users to access data by week at the unit or at the cost level. The cost these views are going to use will basically, it's going to be the default cost that is sent over in the item master field. So this is basically your accounting cost. This is not the PO cost or future cost. This is your item accounting cost. There's other user-friendly fields within this, such as description, so people can look at data by hierarchy description versus just information by ID. The user-defined fields are all available. It also has information such as week beginning or end date, so you don't have to, go digging into the financial or the fiscal reporting tool to determine what is the calendar sequence week of what you're trying to address. The one item to call out, though, these views do contain a significant amount of data. So depending on the size of your assortment or the number of weeks that you may build out your planning horizon, we suggest adding filters such as hierarchy, vendor, or that specific begin or end date to get down to the amount of data that you need. There's a new field called Open to Buy at this point in time because we don't store inventory levels at this time. This is really just being calculated as net need less safety stock. So it gives you the opportunity to say, okay, how much safety stock, what is the value of the safety stocks that you're building into your inventory planning? So it's quickly becoming a very popular view with our users. It's a great way to look at inventory or demand by week, vendor hierarchy, be able to look and take that out. There's a secondary view of this same report called VDRS offer level. Same basic information. It just allows users to be able to drill in and narrow the information down to a specific offer assortment or offer ID. Again, one note with this is if users were to pull in more than one offer, and there is a product or SKU that resides in multiple offers, the data will be displayed for the first offer to eliminate any redundancy within the planning grid and overstating of that information. So the data within the report will still, because we are pulling off of materials planning, it will be company level. So it will be the demand for the whole company by week. It won't be specific to the demand of that particular offer. But it does give users a great flexibility. They can get in, they can look at inventory position or net need at the start of an offer, during or at the end of an offer. So again, I've seen lots of people using the net need report. Offer level is just beginning to pick up. So anybody have any questions? If not, I'm going to turn it over to Stuart, who's going to give us a demo.
Thanks, Linda. I'm going to go into a sample dashboard and go through some of these enhancements. So the first is a copy offer. So that's in Maps. Here's copy offer. This has always been here, but like we said, you weren't able to append. So if you wanted to, let's say, build your spring offer from last spring actuals, you could do a copy offer. But then if you wanted to add other products, you wouldn't be able to do it. It wipes it out and it doesn't add it. So that's why we added this append feature. I'm going to show you an example of doing this with a couple of offers. And again, you could do different versions of this. It doesn't have to be what I'm showing here, which is the working version. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing these offers. So this is multi-offer forecast. You would be doing this at a top level usually, because that copy offer and append is at a top level. I'm just down to a particular subcategory so you could see these products. Here's this offer, which has nothing in it. I want to add this offer and this offer, and I wanted to retain that information. So if I go back here and I hit either copy because it's the first time or append, we get a pop-up that says, do you want to do it? This cannot be undone. And it doesn't take long, even if you have a large amount of products. So if I go here and refresh, you could see that I added these products to this offer. Now, if I go back and bring in this other offer, the working version, and I append it, again, you get that pop-up message, and then it appends it. So now, once I refresh this, you could see that it kept these three products and it added these products here. So this is showing how this works. The system will check and see what's already in the offer, add the new ones. If there was something already in the offer, you could see this item was already in the offer. It doesn't override it. It keeps it here. This does work at a SKU level. If for some reason this product had extra SKUs, it would add it. But if it's those same SKUs, it wouldn't. And so this is a great way to be able to just append. You plan your offer, you could add projected versions, actual versions, or even future working versions. So it's a good shortcut, and you'd have to see how you're going to work this with your offers and maps. The next thing I want to show is the OPS upload. So here, if I go, I browse for my file, I have this test, and then I hit upload. And I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you these fields. So prior to this upgrade, we did not have the release flag. Behind the scenes, the release flag was automatically set to true at a product level. Now we added the release flag. Now this is OPS, so this is the offer product SKU level, but this release flag is always at a product level. If you don't include this field in your upload, it'll set it to true. If any of the SKUs are set to true, then the product release flag will be true, and those products will be released to master scheduling. If at least one of the SKUs is false, then the product is false. Or you could set them all for false, but if at least one product is false at a SKU level, the release flag would then be false. And that's how we control this. And this was added because some customers wanted to make use of this OPS upload because it's a real time saver, but they didn't want the products released until users had a chance to review them in product level forecast. And the last I'm going to show is this net need open to buy. Again, there's the offer level, which is similar to this. This has a large number of fields here. It's also a weekly report. So depending what you're going to put in, it could take a while to run. In this case, I'm looking at one particular product, and I'm looking at a particular start date. So this corresponds to materials planning. If you go to materials planning for this SKU in this warehouse, you'll be able to see the same information. But now we have it in a report. Shows you the start date, the SKU, the week, month, quarter, and year, cost, the beginning quantity on hand, back order, demands, receipt, safety stock, net need, which is your cumulative net need, MRP need, which is your need for that week, and then open to buy. As Linda mentioned, open to buy is net need minus the safety stock. And then you have the open to buy cost. And you can see there's a number of other fields like vendor, the product user fields, the item master fields, and a lot of others. You could also go to a pivot report. So here simply I have the SKUs, I have the open to buy, and I have this open to buy cost. So if you ran this, let's say for Black Friday or near there, and you want to know what do I need to buy at that point, and you have your forecast in, this would give you that information. And again, you don't have to put a particular start date. You could put a particular month or a year, and then you would see by month what your needs are. Any question on this report or anything that I showed? Or anything anybody spoke to about the enhancements?
Haven't seen anything come through yet.
Okay. So now Megan's going to speak about the upcoming enhancements in July.
Great. Thank you, Stuart. Yes, so as we mentioned earlier, this is our July release. So just a preview of some of the key enhancements that will be included. One is changes to the visibility. So you can now see your class code table within the admin module. So just easier for maintenance and editing. In display SKUs, users now have the visibility to quantity on hand by SKU. As well as we are introducing the ability to adjust the mixed percentages in both the single and the multi-offer forecast screen. And then you can see here also several changes related to product analysis, again, just to make it easier, visibility to your history offers while you're viewing active offers, in improvements to editing at that total level, as well as just descriptions and additional information to help give you all the information in one single screen. And then 2 new DRS reports. We're always looking for enhancements with reporting. So we'll have a sales trend report as well as a net need open to buy at the category as well as the subcategory level. So again, these are just some call outs, some key ones that will be introduced, but we do have a full release that will be in July, and we'll share more details on that closer to the time. Okay. So the last part of our webinar here is just a quick survey. So if you have access to a web browser, either in your computer or you could use your cell phone, please join menti.com. And then we have a specific code for this meeting. So it is 37145524. So once you get into your browser, go to menti.com. It will prompt you for the code, and that will then bring up the survey questions for the session. We'll give everyone a minute or so to get logged in. And fitting for our webinar today is just what are the future enhancements that you would like to see with the system. So any kind of pain points that you're facing or things that you think would help your business or your company overall, we'd love to hear that so that we can consider them in our upcoming releases. We'll give everybody a few minutes to kind of think of how they want to enter that. Okay, we have one here, ability to store plan or fiscal inventory, ability to store plan or fiscal inventory levels. So just going down to the location level. And I know sometimes it's hard to think of things offhand. So I know this survey will stay open for, I believe it's 24 hours, Stuart.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can always submit, or you don't even have to go through here. You can just send us an email directly if there's something later on that you think of.
For this one, I'm thinking if it's from the user perspective of being able to see that in screen versus a report. And I think the other thing too is we've just based on, feedback in the conversations that we've had with all of you, over the years, reporting needs. So, if you have a view of data that doesn't exist today as a push button report, it requires you to run a couple of versions of a report and then pivot or, do all that Excel magic. If you can give us a mock-up of the data elements that you're looking for and what the purpose or expectation is for the results of that report, by all means, send that to us because we'll turn that right around to development and have them start working on it. So we might build a report, but you might think that there's elements that are missing, or gosh, I wish you had added just this one field.
Right. I think that's all the feedback from here, but again, like Megan said, you could always just email us or go back to that Menti survey. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And we're always open to new suggestions. We are even building out different dashboards and things specific to the software. So again, if there is anything, to Janine's point, we'd love to hear your inputs on, what kind of data aren't you seeing all in that single screen that would really streamline your processes day to day. So with that,
just real quick, I just wanted to add on to your comment about dashboards. think of the dashboards that we have today. What is there a KPI or is there a view of data that you're having to go and drill into screens to see, on a regular basis that you would love to be able to have that's customized to you on your dashboard? Kind of think of things like that and share those with us because, we're trying to enhance this system for you. And so the more insight and the more feedback that you give to us, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we know DRS, there's definitely room for improvement. Yeah, so any feedback or pain points would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if there's no other, I'll just double check. I didn't see anything come through, but it looks like no questions for today. So we'll wrap up today's session. Thank you again for joining, and we hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy your summer.